Hello, everybody. For those of you who are already here joining us, thank you. We're going to wait just a few minutes, give people a chance to jump on. So we'll hold on a moment. It's still 9:29, but we'll give a few extra minutes. So waiting just a few minutes. We're going to give people time to arrive. Then we'll get started. Meantime, you may enjoy my hat. Hope you like that. And depending on if you're watching this live or not, you do have the ability to chat. If you're on the Hangout, then that chat feature should be up to the left top right. Give it a few more minutes as people arrive. So while we're waiting, and since this will be recorded on YouTube later, share a couple of good things. So a lot of what my wife and I have been doing lately is learning to align with source, align with that divine energy, God, spirit thing some people argue about what to call it. But we align with that higher, that intelligence, that power, and ask, seek the guidance, and ask what we need to do. And when we get it, we do our best to follow that. That's led to just all kinds of beautiful things. But that whole process, um, seeking guidance, asking questions, and getting answers, we've come to understand is something you can do from moment to moment. Alignment from moment to moment. That process is what I've been led to understand, but now experiencing is really key to everything we want. As far as you see it in the scriptures, like seek ye first the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is within. Seek that first, and it's righteousness, like right ordered steps. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, source is righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Things like the Christ teachings, other teachings we've even outside of that. You see these teachings that tell you if you surrender and follow and allow source to guide you, that's the path to fulfillment and to all the things you truly desire. So for me, that's come to mean spirit. It's come to mean not the form, not the external things that I see with my eyes, but the essence and the spirit of life, connecting with and receiving direction on what I need to do. I'm including enjoying my stylish hat. Let me take this effect off because no one will take me serious. You won't take me serious if I have this on, will you? So, welcome. I was just explaining a couple of things while I enjoy my stylish hat. Hope you like it. Let's see if I can grab it. There we go. I'm going to take this effect off because it's probably distracting. It's distracting to me. Um, Before I do that, one last thing. This is probably one important thing in the now. Ooh, I like that. Look at that. Okay, now I'll get rid of it. So I like Google Hangout, not just because you can do silly stuff like that, but gives you a chance to get together and just chat and connect and all that good stuff virtually. But I appreciate those of you who have arrived. I want to check the time. Yeah, it's 9:35. So wanted to give an extra 5 minutes for anyone else who wanted to join. And I was just going on an explanation of how alignment from moment to moment is the key thing that I've been learning and understanding, alignment with that divine power and source of how to order my life in a way that's most fulfilling and that keeps me out of the cycles of suffering, where I can actually experience bliss and joy and all these things. But even with the emotions and the things that come up, be able to even experience those without judgment or resistance and without suffering. Suffering doesn't necessarily mean you feel you don't feel any sort of other emotions that don't necessarily have a lower vibration to them. Suffering means you go through those, or suffering means you resist those, and it helps bring you a lesson. Whereas not suffering or allowing that emotion means you actually accept what's happening. You go through it peacefully, and you receive the lessons and the reminders that brings. So anyway, the reason that's pertinent is because that's what's led me to where I'm at now. And without explaining, I'll just read to you as a reminder what I received as a next step in what my journey has taken me so far. So let me pull that up real quick. Many of you saw this on Facebook and maybe private message I sent you, but I put out the post that I'm launching an online spiritual home that allows visitors to access content on spiritual development. And this is, of course, the life visioning session for those who've expressed interest or are led to be a part of this project. Now, this project is basically where I'm beginning the site just by sharing the teachings I've received via video. I'll share these teachings via blogs and share them via webinars, as well as some online premium workshops that present more in-depth teachings and methods and guided meditations and things like that. Eventually, although I'm led to start with my teachings now, the teachings I've been learning, that is, the ones I've received, I will expand at some point to bring others on to present and things like that. But for some reason, I'm getting to start with what I've been am provided in the beginning. So this site will definitely grow. Since I made this invitation, other things have developed, but that's neither here nor there. What's for now, I'll share that later. But what is important here is those of you who have expressed interest, we're going to go through a simple process that not only will allow you to check in, bring your frequency to where it needs to be to receive inspiration on what you need to, how you can help, um, not only will, whether that be in some capacity of providing some assistance or talents or just supporting it, supporting the vision for it, who knows? But this process, if you're unfamiliar with it, like visioning, it's a simple process that you can use for anything, any question. Um, what I'm hoping is we hold the intention to find out, since you did have interest in this, what source is seeking to birth through you in creating this. Because honestly, even though, oh, let me tell you something. This was pioneered by Reverend Michael Beckwith. It's called Life Visioning Process, and this is how he started the Agape Center on the West Coast. A powerful center, just beautiful. It's highly known, and if you haven't heard of Dr. Beckwith, you may have seen him on that movie The Secret, or may have heard of him seen him on Oprah. I don't know how many times. I think he was recently taping, if he's not already appeared on another Super Soul Sunday. But it's great books out, just a dynamic vessel. And so this process is really simple. So I'm going to take you through a truncated part of it. I expect we'll probably get through it in 20 or so minutes. But we'll feel through it. And we'll be asking the question, or asking each question at a certain segment. And before we get there, I'll guide you through feeling some specific vibrations to raise our frequency. So collectively in this moment, we affirm that whatever source is seeking the birth, we're opening up to, we're allowing to unfold, we're trusting, we're listening, we're strengthening our own will, strengthening our own vibrations, and aligning, allowing, and accepting whatever is birth, and trusting. So if you would with me, let's take a collective breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Another, breathe in, breathe out. And as you either close your eyes or relax and soften your vision, I'd like you to breathe normally and simply listen to the words that I'm saying and allow yourself to be guided through this first part before we get to the questions. So close your eyes, relax. If you're not comfortable already, go ahead and get comfortable. And if you don't already have something to write with, don't worry, I'll give you a moment to go grab that, but we are going to want to use something, whether it's your laptop, open up a text file or what have you, but we'll get to that. Right now, just let all concerns out of your mind. Get in a comfortable position. Continue breathing as you relax, normally, but deeply. Now I'd like you to think about a time in your life that you felt the most gratitude. Whether it was a time you were doing a gratitude journal and noticing all the blessings in your life, or whether it was something that had happened to you that you've been dreaming of and it never happened before, or some other moment where you felt the most gratitude. I want you to think about that moment. I want you to feel what it felt like. Feel into that gratitude, that moment of just joy. If you're a parent, it might have been when your child was born. If your relationship, maybe when you got married and the love that was there. If it was maybe some spiritual experience, or just reflecting on the blessings in your life. I want you to just feel that sense of gratitude. Now, I want you to breathe in that vibration. I'd like you to magnify. Once I snap my fingers, simply multiply it by a factor of 10. Let it expand. It may help to think about in this moment, if you wanted to feel a lot of gratitude, what is something you could feel a lot of gratitude for? Think of what that it might be. And allow it to continue to multiply this feeling of gratitude, to amplify it. Now I'd like you to do the same with love and think about a time in your life where you felt loved by a parent, by maybe a grandparent, by maybe someone that just showed you unconditional love in a way you never felt, or maybe it was just entering the presence of love, divine love through a spiritual experience. I want you to take yourself back to one of the most potent times you've ever felt love. Each of us have had that, whether we remember it or not. If you're having a hard time remembering it, I want you to create that feeling in your mind, what that would feel like, to just be unconditionally loved in a profound way. A love that sees no wrong in you, sees only the best in you, sees the perfection in you. A love that adores and cherishes you. You feel that love. And at the sound of my snap, I want you to multiply that by a factor of 10. Amplify that love. 1, 2, 3. Knowing that this love is only just a peek into limitless love. This love is only just a small glance and experience into the love that is limitless, infinite, and it's here now. And at the sound of my snap, I'll count to 3, and I want you to multiply by a factor of 50. 1, 2, 3. Feel it expand. Feel this love. It's important to know that the essence of life, the divine intelligence, source, God, the spirit, whatever names you call it, that force is that divine love, that limitless love that has extended the one as us, that has extended us as extensions of itself, and that it only seeks to experience and to give us not only our birthright of bliss and joy, that love, that fulfillment, but to give us the desires of our heart, those things that we may have forgotten we came here for. And all we have to do is say yes. And through this process, we're going to feel into this gratitude and this love as we've raised our vibration to receive, coming into that presence with thanksgiving, that love presence. And now we'll ask the questions. I want you to go ahead and continue to feel that high vibration that we've come together and are amplifying. And I want you to go ahead and open up a text file or grab something you want to write with. I'm going to go through a series of questions and we're going to listen for the answers. And I want you to answer these for your role. This will be a demonstration with this site of perhaps how you'll be involved, but a demonstration, an example of how you can apply the same method to whatever questions you have for your own life. So first, start by asking a simple question. Give you a moment to get your file or your paper and pen ready. First question you're going to ask is, what is Source seeking? What is God seeking to be as me when it comes to the spiritual development side? What is God seeking to birth through me as me? Ask that question and listen. What is the divine seeking to birth as me when it comes to this site? Now, if you didn't really get anything or having a hard time hearing, just continue to focus on that feeling of love. Allow that to be amplified. Listen. As the inspiration comes, write down what you receive. Now, some of you may be getting just hold the space and nothing directly related to the site. So then ask the question, what is Source seeking to birth through me now? In general, period. What is Source seeking to birth through me now as me? And allow that to flow. And this is, of course, how you can apply it to whatever you want. Next question. What is my strength? What am I bringing to allow this to happen? What strengths, what gifts, what does Source already equipped me with to assist in supporting this spiritual development site? Write down what you get. Just realize I need to write down what I'm getting. So let me write it down. These things as the strengths, the gifts, the unique soul's blueprint that you've already been equipped with. What are those things that you can bring to assist in what Source is seeking to birth? whether it be for this sight or whatever you receive. Next question you're going to ask is, what is my growing edge? Where are the areas, the growing edge, or the challenges, or as some people would call them, the areas to change or improve or unfold? What's my growing edge? What are the areas that I may need to let something go? Whether perspective, habits, conditioned thinking, in order to do what Source is seeking to do here. What is my growing edge? This can also be areas of learning, things that may have been coming up as life, Source, God has been bringing to you, showing you, but maybe you haven't been ready yet, but maybe now is the time. What is that? It's the growing edge, the areas to learn or to develop. And the last question, what's my next step? Steps when it comes to what Source is showing me, seeking for birth in this capacity, based on the strengths, based on the areas of growth, growing opportunities, growing edge. What's my next steps? For me, I'm asking regarding this site. For you, you can ask the same, and you can ask in general. And if you're having any trouble hearing or listening, just don't fight it or resist. Just relax and listen. It comes in inspiration in all kinds of ways, maybe silently. Just keep listening, writing what you're getting. And of course, these next steps are usually actions we need to take. It may be a couple, it may be several. Give it just a few more moments to listen. What's the next thing you need to do? What are the next steps? All right. So trust that you were able to hear and receive whatever inspiration you needed. It's a very simple process. We could obviously spend even more time on this, but I got that this short amount of time was all that we needed to do it, to tap in and get what we needed to hear. What I'd like to do next is get with those of you who've done this and attended, and schedule a time to go over it with you individually on what you received. And you can email me. You can email it to me at john@johnstringerinc.com, or you can reach out to me on Facebook. Um, and let's set up a time to chat. And of course, send me your email, because some of you, I don't have your email address. If you have Gmail, even better. We can schedule a calendar time to chat and go over what you got. Love to hear what you received out of this. And I'll tell you one last thing. Some of you I've spoken to already. I've had some surprises come up, and those who are showing up and had been thinking about doing something with me prior to this. One individual back in January had wrote it as an intention even, and we'll see how that plays out. But just so many things. What I've learned is how when we listen and we receive these breadcrumbs of inspiration, don't let fear be your guiding factor. Don't let fear and limitation be the thing that guides you. Because often when you get an inspiration, sometimes it looks so big, and we've been conditioned to think of ourselves smaller or less than that, less than the vision we're receiving. But the fact that you receive the vision means it's a possibility that you no doubt have the power to step into, that you are that. Now, where that will take you, it's kind of like the Matrix, and how the Oracle asked certain questions and Neo gave the interpretation. But she asked the questions to allow him to interpret what he needed to hear to get him to where he needed to go, right? Often I believe the visioning process is the same. There's a divine intelligence that knows exactly what vision we need to get us to move into what we are here for. That doesn't mean what you interpret that vision to be is going to be the exact thing that you get led to do, or that you end up manifesting externally. But the essence and the feeling of that vision, something like it, will come through, because you're interpreting the vibration of that vision. Your interpretation may not be all that accurate, but the vibration of it, the power of it is. It's what you've been called to step into. That's for whatever vision you get. But don't get attached to these false or these illusions that we create in trying to interpret something. Don't get attached to that. Don't lean to your own understanding what you think that vision meant. Stay open. Allow the divine to guide you to what it actually means. And you'll find out, because life will show you. Whatever shows up, whatever comes, that's what, based on that vision, is what you're choosing as far as your alignment. But that's what's meant to come through. Nothing's going to come that shouldn't be coming through. The other infinite possibilities, the ones that fulfill us the most, are the ones where, when we're aligned, we're receiving that vision, we're surrendering to that highest consciousness, that God power, that source, and allowing it to show us what to do. And that breaks the chains of suffering, that gives you the freedom, the bliss. It's okay to suffer if you want to suffer. Don't get me wrong. But if you'd like to go a different way, great. If you'd like to minimize your suffering, or if you'd like to only suffer in certain areas, whatever it is, that alignment process helps you go the route you need to go. So I invite you to send me any questions you have about this after the fact. Life visioning can be used, period, even if you just want to figure out your purpose. I know we just did this on the spiritual development site I'm doing, but if you want to practice it on other things, you can, and find out other things you can. So I hope this helps. Replay this for whatever other questions you have. I did my last one specifically on the spiritual development site, and it was very helpful. Let me know how it went for you, and look forward to talking to you soon. Don't forget the email. Peace, everybody. Thank you for joining.